Hello, guys and girls. I'm Dr. Omkar Sangita Sonone from Team AFMG, and today we are super glad that we have with us Dr. Prasan Dubey, who have successfully cleared his FMG exam in this December 2021 session. I would first of all like to congratulate him on his immense success, and today we will be seeking some answers to our questions usually. First of all, before we begin, I would like you to introduce yourself with mentioning the name of the university. Go ahead, please.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Prasan Dubey. I've done my MBBS from Scotland State Medical University, and I joined in medicine in 2015, and I graduated this June of 2021.
Great. So now my first question to you, Dr. Prasan, is like, how do you feel after crossing that 150 mark? What's the reaction?
I feel very happy. I cannot put into words. It's a full circle moment for me for sure. I remember when I was studying for the exam, I used to think of the days, when the result would come and even the exam day, how would I feel? How would I, perceive the exam? And now after overcoming all of that, after getting my result, I'm very happy that, I've cleared this exam. I'm relieved that the step is done, and I'm excited for the upcoming challenges.
Great, great. So now I would like to ask you a question that most of like the students, the FMG aspirants, are afraid that like usually this exam is really difficult and we need to start our preparation from day one we enter the med school. So like when did you start your preparations?
For me, I had not studied much for FMG exam in during the university time. I started after graduating. I joined AFMG, and that was when I actually started studying. And I was oriented much more towards the pattern of for the FMG exam, and moreover, it was something very new to me, because in Russia the exams were conducted in a very different pattern and a very different and the topics even were a bit different. So
Right.
I started after graduating.
True, true. So that's important, I feel so, because most of them are just very anxious to even start the preparations because they feel it's too difficult for them. So, like as you have mentioned, you have started after your graduation and you were able to clear it in the first go itself. So, like it's really helpful. So now I would like to ask you, as you said that the exam this time, like most of them was perceiving the exam as difficult. So, what do you feel about the exam pattern as such this time?
Honestly, it was difficult, but it was not so difficult that it was impossible. There were a mixed bag of all different types of questions. There were one-liners, there were conceptual questions, there were clinical questions, there was everything. And for me personally, paper one was much more easier as compared to paper two. And in recent trends, in recent examinations, there were a lot of image-based questions. But this time around, I feel there were a bit less image-based questions. But whatever image-based questions were there, they were very straightforward. That this is the case and this is the image, and you could identify it even without looking at the answers. So for me, that was one benefit. And the clinical questions, although they were very lengthy, but they were pretty straightforward as well. They were clinical questions, but in the end, the knowledge required to answer those questions was from one-liners.
Right. So I have got the best assessment as far like as I have taken many interviews, but this was the best assessment I've got about the examination. Though it was a moderate to difficult one, but like there were a mixed bag of questions which were able to be solved from the notes itself, right? So clinical case scenarios could also
Exactly.
be solved, yeah, with enough of knowledge of the one-liners, even like if you get the keywords. That's it. Great.
Exactly.
So now
Exactly.
yeah. So now my question to you, Dr. Prasan, is like, how did you choose AFMG? Because as you know, like people are even confused to like choose what they need to follow throughout their preparations. Like, what was your approach when you chose offline sessions of AFMG? Because there are many other options available as well in the market.
Yeah, there are many options, but for me, I had seniors that were very supportive throughout, and they recommended me to join AFMG because they had also passed through AFMG, and It is a difficult decision because there's so many places that you can study from. There are so many online apps that you can download and you can use those. But there's something else about offline sessions that will benefit you in ways that online things won't. So that was one of the main things for me. Offline classes were the most important thing because there's an interaction between the teacher and the student. So that was very helpful for me.
Right. So I feel the same because I have been attending the offline sessions as well, and I'm a fan. So definitely, you get an extra edge of communication with the faculties directly when you attend offline sessions, right? So now, Dr. Prasan, I would like to know what was your schedule, and by schedule I mean like what was your plan throughout the day? How many hours did you study? Like, because most of them are confused with the schedule itself. So, like, what is your take on that?
In the beginning, it's very difficult to getting used to sitting in class and then studying as well at home. In class, the classes will be for say 5 6 hours, and then after coming home, then you don't feel like studying again. But slowly you have to start. You have to start with studying 1 hour, then increasing your time to 2 hours, 3 hours. You get into the habit of it. It's you have to build on it. And I would say my approach for
Right.
this exam was that, like, in the beginning, in the first month, it was mainly about adapting to the environment. Delhi was a complete new place for me, and for everyone. After coming back from Russia, it's a new place, and you have to get
Right.
adapted to sitting in classes for long hours, and then coming home studying. And then after that, in the next few months, you have to really stay on track. You have to go to classes every day. You have to make notes. You have to participate in the class, and you have to come home and read, and then prepare for weekly tests. Everything you have to do, and you have to manage your time very wisely. So, and another thing I would say is that for me,
Yeah.
something that really helped was sitting in the front of the class and actively participating with the teachers, answering them. Even if I answered wrong, then I would check myself. See, next time I won't make that same mistake again. And also, you have to realize that every subject is equally important. You never know when the NBE will change up the pattern. Like, usually we have a habit of looking at the weightage of the exam and studying accordingly. But I would say medicine is as equally as important as pediatrics or psychiatry. So you can't really justify what subjects are important and what are not, and you have to understand that pattern.
Right, true, true. So true, because like I have been getting a lot of questions regarding the same thing. Ki, sir, important topics bata do. Like people try to find shortcuts even at the start of their preparations, and this is very much important that you specified that each and every subject is important in its own way. Like every subject plays a major role, right? Important thing. Along with that, you also mentioned two or three major facts about the preparations. First of all, people think that it's something magic that you directly step into preparation, you start preparing for 10 to 12 hours. That's not practically possible. Rather, your approach, I feel the same was with me. Like, I feel this is the more practical approach when you are not adapted to this thing. So, first of all, you try to adapt. And secondly, it's a gradual process. There's not all of a sudden that comes to you. You need to build on it, as you specifically mentioned. So true, so true. Because like people are rather anxious about how to start because they feel it's directly 10 to 12 hours on the first day itself. So that was very important. Now, please let me know, like, what was the role of AFMG? How did it help you in the preparations and in the revision in both aspects, please?
Yeah. So AFMG was, something very crucial in my preparation. AFMG provided very concise notes that were to the point. There was no unnecessary information, and it was, you could read it yourself, and you could understand as well as solve questions from those. And AFMG, not only that, it provided me with how to be consistent and how important revision is. I remember, for microbiology and forensics, Vikas sir, every day just before the classes, 5 to 10 minutes every day, he would take these rapid revisions, like chanting sessions. He would just ask bacteria
Right.
and what their function, what their motility is, or something like that. And that really helped me because every day, those 5 minutes of revision, they led to answering questions in exam. The same questions came what he asked us. And as well as along with that, no, you'll find notes anywhere in Gautam Nagar. You'll find them online, you'll find them offline, everywhere you'll find notes. But another thing that AFMG provided was constant motivation. Every day, every morning in the group, Vikas sir sent a photo, something, some motivational quote that really gets you going. And the most important thing that AFMG gave us was, we completed the portion before, around mid-November. So we had a lot of self-study time, which is very important. You just can't attend classes and clear an exam. It's very important for self-study. And that was one of like the best things ever. Almost 2 months we got to prepare for ourselves.
Right. So I feel that's the most important things that you have mentioned again. That first of all, talking about the motivation that people feel, and like the most important thing for your preparation is consistency. What Dr. Vikas actually tells us with his constant thing that he never fails to send a motivational quote early in the morning every day. So that is the best example of consistency, I feel so. And like with this, you have also mentioned an important thing that during your preparations the notes played a huge role. Like along with the notes, that is very much important that you also get a time for self study, because only attending classes is definitely not the go. You also need to study by yourself, and that should be the most important thing for your revision time. Yeah, right. Now I would like to ask, because people are usually confused, rather they do not solve MCQs and they feel like by solving MCQs they get a negativity. Some negativity is imparted. So what is your take on that?
I feel MCQs, some people are scared, as you said, some people are scared to solve MCQs, or they, if they get it wrong, then they lose confidence and it really demotivates them. But MCQs were an integral part in my preparation. Solving MCQs has many benefits. Like we get an idea of what is actually important and what is just, text matter to fill our notebooks. Because there are some things that will be more important, and solving MCQs will guide us in what topics are important and what are topics that will might not be asked. And I remember one of the teachers in the classes said that you have to solve every question like it's the question that's going to take you from 149 to 150 marks. You have to make sure that you're putting in your 100% effort to solving that one question, and as well as analyzing it afterwards, that if you got it right, then why did you get it right? Maybe it was pure luck, or maybe it was something that you actually genuinely studied. Or if you got it wrong, then why did you get it wrong? Why did you not assume the other options? Why didn't you think about those? So analyzing them and like revising them as well, that's really important.
So I feel this is the best thing that I would also like to convey to the students. Like you have mentioned about MCQs, like everybody though, they do not wish to solve MCQs, finally they attempt it. But the most two important things that you have told me is, first of all, like attempt every MCQ that it is going to take you from the 149 to 151. The most important thing. Along with that, you have mentioned a very important thing. I tell to analyze MCQs always after they go through it. But you have mentioned actually sequence of analysis, that if you are attempting it right, so what was the thing that like made you attempt it right? What was your pure, what it was your sheer luck, or maybe it was like you completely knew the topic? And if you're attempting it wrong, definitely you need to know the answer properly and also to rule out the other options. Like this is a proper analysis, I feel so, and that has made you through this examination. Like you had a basic approach to solve a MCQ also, and that's most required, I feel, in the preparation phase. Now, please let me know what was the role of the different programs that AFMG runs. Usually, we have test and discussion, we have test series, QRS, chanting sessions, image-based sessions. Like, what was the role, and how did you integrate them in your self-study?
So after reading the notes, the first step is obviously going through the notes, attending the classes, going through the notes, and after that, the most important thing is that we have to write the notes properly. Make sure you don't make mistakes during writing the notes. And then after that, I my strategy was to attend the chanting sessions. What I used to do was read through the subject, or the whatever topic is like I had planned that day, and then I would watch the chanting sessions on YouTube in, like, 1.5 speed, and go through those. And that, what that does is makes reminds you of all the points, as well as it you can identify what topics you've skipped, or what topics you've failed to understand, and that really helps. And it becomes a part of your innate memory. And then AFMG also had tests and discussions almost weekly. So those tests and discussions, along with the teacher teaching in class, those tests and discussions, the teacher would make the paper such that all the important topics were covered, and what all questions can be asked from those. They were all very. The teacher would in the end, like, revise the whole subject. So that was very beneficial. And then towards the end, after all my self studies were done, I attended the QRS sessions. For those who don't know, the quick revision sessions. I attended those, and those covered all subjects, almost all subjects, and it reminded us what we needed to revise once again in the last few days before the exam, as well as it gave us a confidence boost. Attending those sessions, I could answer a lot of those questions, and it really helped me bring my morale up, and got me through the last 15 days of the exam.
Right. So I feel you have given a good take on all these sessions that AFMG has, like I fondly remember you being at the front seat and definitely answering all the questions and interacting. So that's the most important thing I feel during the chanting sessions or the QRS sessions, because like once you start answering the questions, that what makes you remind and recall all those stuff that you have read. That's the most important thing for it. Now
And it's
I would
okay if
like,
you answer it wrong. If it's okay if you
yeah,
answer it wrong, then it becomes a habit. Then you know that, okay, I in the chanting session I answered this wrong, but then you remember the right answer. So that was
true.
important.
Rather, I feel if you have answered it wrong once, you never make a mistake in that particular topic at least, or that question at least.
Right, right.
Yeah. So now my question to you, Dr. Prasoon, is how to stay motivated? How important is it to be on track? And what was your strategy in that?
Right. So this exam is not easy. Nobody said it was gonna be easy, and we all tend to lose motivation here and there. But I remember during our PSM classes, Dr. Ashwini had said that we throughout the journey we tend to forget why we started at this journey. He reminded us that we are not only studying to clear this exam, we're studying to save a patient's life. And that really motivated me. That reminded me of why I started my journey. And along with that, you really have to celebrate your victories, no matter how small they are. you know Even if you score a good result on an exam, you have to celebrate that. If you don't, it'll be very monotonous, and you won't enjoy. You won't. It's not just an exam, it's a part of your life, so you should celebrate those victories. And along with that, focus on your mental health and give yourself positive affirmations. Surround yourself with positive energy. That'll really help you in the times where you don't feel like studying, or where you feel really demotivated.
So that's the most important thing that you have mentioned. I can derive is please, like for staying motivated, you need to enjoy the journey rather than just staying like always into that mode. So like that can happen if you start deriving happiness from the small victories that you get along the preparations. That's the most important thing. Like because though people are scoring much, they are getting like good scores in their GTs, then also they are depressed and anxious about the exams that I found. So
Yeah.
now, what would be your take on the last 10 to 15 days, and how do they matter on the exam day? Like, how do they affect on the exam day as such?
The last 10 to 15 days are really tough. Like, it's very exhausting, both emotionally, both physically. You're studying for long hours. You see nothing else other than your books, and it gets very tiring. But the main thing is, it's the last 15 days. You don't want to give up. You don't want to, you have to stay calm. And along with studying and solving MCQs, you have to, stay on track. Don't lose focus. And whatever it is, my strategy in the last 15 days was, writing all of the high yield or important points on sticky notes. And just before the exam, I just went through all of the sticky notes of all 19 subjects. And that really helped me solve at least 20 questions in the exam. So, and that all is one thing. But on the other hand, you have to, eat healthy. You have to sleep on time. For me, that was a major thing, getting my sleep timetable back on track, because I had a habit of studying at night and the exam was in the day. So changing that cycle was very difficult for me, but I had to do it. So that is another
Right.
thing to look out for.
Rather, I feel that's one of the most important things to look out for, because all of us, like majority of us are night owls, and then once we are used to study in the night, it's really difficult to get up earlier and to get used to that phase when you need to solve MCQs during the daytime. That you have mentioned really important thing, that yes, you need to change your sleep schedule, though how difficult it is, you need to do it in the last 10 to 15 days. Now, coming to the last question for the session, I would like to ask you, what would be your advice that you wish to give to all your fellow colleagues and the FMG aspirants this time?
If I would answer it in 2 words, it would be definitely join AFMG. But adding a bit more to that, it would be, taking it as a challenge. Like, you have to clear this exam. You have no other option. So taking it as a challenge and in a very positive way. And, like I said, you don't want to just study for this exam. You want to study for saving someone's life. And I remember Dr. Priyansh Jain, our biochemistry teacher, he would always say, abhi to shuruaat hai, abhi to asman bhi faadna hai. So
Right.
that really stuck to me. And, I took it as a positive challenge, and, you'll get through it.
So, so that's most important. Thank you. That you have given a very good advice. Important thing is, like, people usually feel like, we FMGs usually feel that after FMG exam it's over. But I find you motivated to just take up all the challenges that will come your way. And we are pretty sure at AFMG that you will take them head on and will succeed in each one of them. So, all the very best from our side, and wish you luck in all the future endeavors. And we are grateful that to have you over here and to get some questions answered, which are usually students have before beginning their preparations. Thank you so much, and wish you all the luck, and congratulations once again.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. I'd like to thank AFMG, the entire faculty, every single teacher. It was very essential for me to, this was this the 6 months, I've met the best teachers and I've met the best faculty, and the way of teaching, I've never seen it before. So I'm very thankful to AFMG for that.